Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're looking at the world record for demos set in an RLCS game. We're on board with Allushin, who plays for FaZe clan. They're up against RBG Esports in the first round of the second event for this North American RLCS season. We're in Game 2. Game 1 was a fairly competitive 3-1 win for FaZe, the favourites, the defending champions, coming into this event. And RBG might not be expecting what happens next, because for the time being, it's fairly standard stuff. Allushin playing a good third man position on all these plays, and AJ and First Killer doing what they do best, and that is just outplay their opponents. But it's at this moment in the game when Allushin realizes they're up by 2. They seem to be able to take RBG pretty easily, I would guess, and he just stops playing conventional Rocket League, stops going for the ball. I wonder if this is the first time that they've done this, or if he has tried this before in scrims, but I've definitely had moments like this in my own Rocket League games. Sometimes I'll be playing ranked with friends, and either myself or one of my friends will notice that we're winning and they still haven't put any points on the board, and we've tried this a few times. I think I've tried this myself, where you just see how long can you stay on 0 points while also helping your team stay ahead in the game, but obviously by not touching the ball. Allushin leaving that one for his teammate and continuing to chase for bumps and demos, primarily demos of course, because that does tend to be the more tilting option when this is the only thing that you are going for. And you'll see why with Allushin's attempts to get chain demos, getting those spawn demos. Here he is heading towards one of them, and Stokely does spawn in the worst possible place and get double demoed by Allushin, who I believe is up to 4 demos now. So besides the demos, the other records I'm pretty sure Allushin would have set with this game include the highest percentage of time spent at supersonic speed. Supersonic speed, of course, the range of speeds where you have that trail and you can actually land demos on your opponents when you hit them. He also, I believe, has the most boost consumption and probably the most big pads picked up. Not sure, small ones as well. I wouldn't be surprised. And average speed, of course, has to be a record here, as he continues to just bomb around the field and bump and demo his opponents as much as possible. But okay, 2 minutes in, I'm pretty sure he's still only on 4 demos, so not that impressive, and I'm sure many of you have been able to get to a tally of that number, sometimes without even prioritizing it. It's, you know, sometimes the stars align, sometimes you just have lots of opportunities to play off the ball for those demos, and you know, 4, I think 5 now demos in just under half the game. Nothing unusual about that, but the second half of the game does prove to be more successful for Allushin, who continues to just go straight into the other team's half. RBG Esports getting their back corner boost stolen repeatedly here, and they are constantly needing to check left and right to see where Allushin is, as he finds more sneaky options to surprise them with these demos, not just in the RBG half. I think it's key as well that he's dipping back into the FaZe half every now and then to try and get demos and supporting players. That does, of course, limit the options for RBG to attack. Sometimes somebody's waiting in the middle for a play. Allushin takes them out of the frame. And, oh, nice little jump there by Money. RBG, I've got to give it to them, have been doing a decent job at avoiding these demos, but when a player like Allushin is only going for that and that alone, you can only avoid them for so long, and it must be getting frustrating. They know that Allushin has, I think, yeah, he's got 20 points to the board now. That is from 7 demos. You get 20 points for 7 demos, if I'm not mistaken. So he still has not touched the ball in this game, or else he would have had 2 points on top of there. So yeah, RBG, they know what's going on here. They know what they signed up for when they came in against FaZe. They knew they're going to be the underdogs, but they probably didn't anticipate this kind of thrashing that's being handed to them. In fact, a more one-sided win at the moment at 4-0 now. Than Game 1 was, when Allushin was just playing standard Rocket League. So here he is on the kickoff. What do you think Allushin's going to do? Is he going to play the ball? He doesn't play it. He goes straight away for the demo. He is going to keep that no ball touch record going. Yeah, just incredible stuff. FaZe showing what they can do with a completely off-the-wall strategy here. I'd love to see this getting whipped out more often, 'cause I think it can actually be effective. I think, you know, without much practice utilizing it, they're probably going to lose to their contemporaries at the top of North America if they try to play like this. But, you know, if they've got a good match, or even if they want to just completely switch it up, if they're doing well against a team and they want to hit them with a curveball, maybe not for a full game, but certainly, you know, for a minute, I'd love to see Allushin try this, or just other players trying this because you can really throw a team off guard if you just suddenly start only playing for the bumps and the demos. I'm sure you all ran into a team or a player in ranked who have somebody doing this. It's not easy to play against. You have to constantly check to your surroundings to make sure that you're not being bumped and demoed. It really affects your awareness of the play and the ball and the players who are actually trying to score against you. Look at that, 6-0. More crushing defeat for RBG than the first game where Allushin played standard. And credit to Allushin, he actually has still not touched the ball. If I'm not mistaken, the 5 points that he's picked up here, I didn't know this until I can't remember, somebody told me this weekend, that you actually get 5 points if you bump a teammate after they score. So after this game, I'm going to rewind and I'm going to try and find when those 5 points were added to Allushin's score, because I didn't know about this until this game happened, and somebody explained to me where those 5 points came from. But yeah, let's go back and see where he was able to pick those up. He was able to get 18 demos in this game, so that's 2 exterminators, 7 demos for an exterminator. He got way past that. He was on his way to a third one. But let's find which goal it was that gave him the 45. So he already had 45 before the 6th goal was scored. So it must be this one. So that was right there. That was his second exterminator. And now watch this. He actually bumps, I believe, first killer, who gets the goal. So let's rewind and make sure it is first killer who's scoring. I'm pretty sure it is. First killer's on 3 goals. Redirects in that's first killer's 4th goal. We saw that. And now Allushin, who's currently on 40 points, gives first killer a bump. And let's see if that updates to 45. I'm pretty sure it does. We could just put it into 100% speed now. There it is. So 45 points. Allushin getting 5 points because he bumped his teammate who scored. I think it's called a high five. I didn't know about that. And I want to know what you guys think about this being added in the game, because personally, I think that should be removed. Why are you getting points for something that doesn't actually help your team win in any way? I suppose you could argue that team morale, is an important aspect of winning in Rocket League, and that maybe help the team morale in some way. But yeah, I was shocked to hear about this. 5 points for bumping a teammate after they score. High five. It's kind of cool. Obviously, points don't really matter, but it is a metric that you can use to compare players and see who has a bigger impact, at least on the scoreboard stats, because all of the other point generating statistics are relevant to the game and to the outcome of the game. So what do you guys think about the 5 points for the team bump? While you think about it, let's get into the last game of this series. Spoiler, it is going to be a sweep, but Allushin continues this strategy that worked so well for them in game 2, and let's see how it went for them in the last one. So here we go. Allushin spawning forward on the kickoff. Obviously that's not going to mean he's going for the kickoff. Far from it, as he gets into the demo chasing once again. Yeah, they must be feeling confident about this strategy after that game, and definitely confident in this matchup against RBG Esports. But okay, I said that I spoiled the result of this series. I'm going to spoil a little bit more than that. If you guys don't want to know about the outcome of the North American Regional in its entirety, then I would encourage you to mute or stop watching this video right now, because I'm going to talk about the outcome of the event as well. So okay, there we go. They've had their chance to leave. Let's talk about FaZe and their run through the event, and let's talk about the fact that they didn't actually make top 8 in the event. So first things first, do you guys think this strategy that they employed had any bearing on the outcome of the following series that they played on the day? Do you think that maybe this threw them off and threw off their rhythm going into the next match that they played against Envy? Because obviously at this point FaZe are completely destroying RBG Esports. They're advancing into the second round of the Swiss stage with a perfect 3-0 sweep, which means that they're going to get a good matchup probably in the second round. But what they didn't I think expect is running into Envy in the second round, because unlike FaZe, Envy actually, nice timing on the pickup there for the big boost by Allushin, worth mentioning. But like I was saying, Envy did not get a good run. They actually dropped 2 games against Sonics in their match in round 1, and FaZe matched up against Envy in round 2. And that's something you have to think about in the Swiss. Just because you do well in your match doesn't mean that you're going to get an easy matchup. It means that you're going to get a matchup against a team who dropped more games than you did in the first round. But that might be a team like NRG, it might be a team like Envy, Space Station, or even G2, who just don't play their best in one series early on in the day. That's what happened to FaZe. They lost to Envy, and although they did bounce back in the next round, and actually going to double check this, I've forgotten who they played. They played V1 in the next round, which again is a pretty tough draw. V1 making top 4 in the first regional. They were able to win that one, and it looked like they were going to be just fine going into the playoffs with a 3-1 score. But losing to True Neutral in round 4, with a sweep no less, and then running into Space Station, who also had a very surprisingly difficult run. They lost to Ghost. All in all, FaZe might have thrown themselves off here, because I could see them having a better match against Envy. That's the only one that I think is really relevant in this discussion, is did FaZe give themselves the best prep going into that Envy match by playing Demo Chase against RBG? I think there's a case to say that they didn't there, and that this might have actually contributed to their poor start and poor outcome of that series. However, let's look at the other side of the coin. Let's look at the other outcome. Imagine a world where FaZe actually win against Envy in that second round. Maybe they even give Allushin another look at the demo chasing. Maybe they're winning 2-0 in the last game of the series, and they just say, yeah, Allushin, final minute, go for it. Let's just bring back the demo strat. And then they score again. Just flip it on its side. Imagine a world where FaZe actually win through to the playoffs with that undefeated run, and start to utilize this strategy when they seem to have the edge over teams that they're up against. Everybody would be singing their praises. Everybody would be saying FaZe revolutionizing the game here. They're true pioneers, and look how good they are. They've just won the first event, and now they're confident to 2v3 high-level opposition. Everybody would be mad impressed with what they're doing here, but that's not what happened. They actually fell short. They did have an extremely difficult run, having to play Envy, version 1, True Neutral, and Space Station in 4 series in a row in a Swiss stage is unlucky, and that's not entirely their fault that they had a bad run like this. That's also because their opponents, particularly Envy and Space Station, did not play up to their usual level, and that's why they were in these matches in the first place. So yeah, you guys, you can weigh in on that as well. In my personal opinion, I like the strategy. I don't think it would have contributed too much to their downfall. However, I will say that if they did not scrim, or not scrim, but if they didn't get one practice game in before the start of their match against Envy, then I could see Allushin taking a little bit of time to adjust, to get back into regular rotation. AJ and First Killer as well, because you do have to play extremely differently when you've got a teammate who's only looking for demos. So it's really, FaZe are the ones who'll know the answer to that question. Did they, off the back of this 3-0 win, say, okay guys, let's focus up, it's Envy next? Well, actually at that point they wouldn't have known that it's Envy next. They were already confirmed that they were through well before Envy did. But did they sit down and say, okay guys, that was fun, but let's get our heads back in the game. It's a clean slate next series, and we need to respect our opponents out of the gate, because you never know how well a team's playing until you actually face them on the day. So I would guess that they didn't. Knowing Rocket League players and Rocket League pros, I'm not isolating FaZe here. I just think that generally Rocket League pros and Rocket League pro teams don't take the Swiss stage of these events seriously enough. I don't think that they're throwing in a practice game there, or a ranked game, whatever, just to get a normal rotation up and running again. So my best guess is that the previous game to running into Envy that they played was this game that you're watching right now, where Allushin, I think, accidentally touched the ball once and got one exterminator. Not anywhere near as many demos in this game for Allushin. RBG avoiding them a lot more effectively, and that obviously contributed to the score being much less one-sided. Still, very impressive in a vacuum here. If you just look at these two games and what FaZe were able to do, extremely impressive stuff. I think that there is actually something to this. Maybe not for a full game, but just to completely mix it up and have somebody only demo chasing, yeah, that's going to distract your opponents. That's going to throw them off for sure. And if they're used to playing like this, if First Killer and AJ can get a lot of practice in playing with Allushin as a demo chaser, then yeah, they're probably going to be able to handle that better in their opposition that they're up against. So I'm very interested to see if they'll bring this back. I personally hope that they do, and don't get too downhearted by the outcome of the Swiss stage as a whole. But I also do want to highlight that Swiss is a really brutal format, and this split, this season as a whole, is a lot more cutthroat than RLCS Season X was. RLCS Season X, Day 1 Swiss, you're almost guaranteed to go through if you're a top team in North America, because there just weren't enough, especially in the fall split. There were 32 teams in the Day 1 of Swiss, 32 teams playing. There just aren't enough good teams for Swiss to be a problem. And I think that the NA teams in particular might still be in that mindset of treating Day 1 Swiss as just a walk in the park, when really it is such a cutthroat format. You perform badly in the Swiss, you get a 3-2 score in series going into the playoffs. Yeah, congratulations. Now you're against NRG in round 1, and you're out in the quarterfinals. FaZe still look pretty good to make the major. They're sitting in second place overall in points. Maybe my editor can bring the NA point standings up right now. G2 are right behind them. They're kind of the two teams who are in a really good spot. I think they can pretty much, well, there's worlds where they can clinch top 5 without even making the playoffs next time. I think going 2 and 3 in the Swiss stage at the final event. But it's not out of the question. One bad day, somebody feeling sick, internet outage, whatever it is, you don't want that to happen, but you have to consider the possibility. So that I think is a big takeaway from the results that FaZe suffered in this Swiss event, in the Swiss stage of this event. You got to take every single game in Swiss seriously. Every single series, but every single game also. You cannot just throw away a game, because that might affect your record and put you up against a team you really didn't want to face, and now your entire season is in trouble. But yeah, what do you guys think? I personally, like I said, I want to see more of this strategy. I think it's a good one to mix in there for short bursts of a series. And good luck to FaZe continuing their run towards the major in the fall split. Still looking pretty good there if they can show up in the next Swiss event. But yeah, look at that four-way tie. SSG, NV, V1, True Neutral. Only 2 of those teams can make it in if the big 3 at the top of the standings continue to do well enough. NRG are in already, of course. So, if G2 and FaZe can keep up their good work overall, then you're only going to get 2 of Space Station, Envy, V1, and True Neutral. So it's on Space Station and Envy to show that they are the better teams there, as they were last season. They need to take that Swiss more seriously. Remember, it was their messing around and dropping games in round 1, in Envy's case, dropping a series to Ghost in Space Station case. That's what really messed with FaZe more than anything. But congrats to True Neutral for the big win over FaZe as well. That's huge. Really exciting team. Hard not to root for them going into the fall split major. I certainly hope to see them there, even though if it is at the expense of one of these other legendary teams. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. 2 really crazy games from FaZe and Allushin, and the North American standings are looking extremely spicy going into the final event in just under 2 weeks' time. You're not going to want to miss that. But this is all for now. I'll see you very soon with more streams and videos. Until then, take care, and again, thanks for watching.